My name is Carlos Morales. I'm going to be doing the JFK Civil Rights Address. Good evening, my fellow citizens. This afternoon, following a series of threats and defiant statements, the presence of Alabama National Guardsmen was required on the University of Alabama to carry out the unequivocal order of the United States District Court of the Northern District of Alabama. That order called for the admission of two clearly qualified young Alabama residents who happened to be born Negro. That they were admitted peacefully, due in good measure to the conduct of the students of the University of Alabama, who met their responsibilities in a constructive way. I hope that every American, regardless of where he lives, will stop and examine his conscience about this and other related incidents. This nation was founded by many men of many different backgrounds and many different nations. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Today, we are confronted with a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free. And when Americans are sent to Vietnam or West Berlin, we do not ask for whites only. Therefore, it ought to be possible for American students of any color to attend any public institution they select without having to be backed up by troops. It ought to be possible for Americans of any color to receive equal service in places of public accommodation, such as hotels, restaurants, retail stores, and theaters, without being forced to demonstrations in the street. And it ought to be possible for American citizens of any color to register to vote in a free election without fear of interference or fear of reprisal. It ought to be possible for every American to enjoy the privileges of being American without regard to his race or color. In short, every American ought to have the right to be treated as he would wish to be treated, or to be treated as he would wish his children to be treated. The Negro baby born in America today, regardless of the section of the state in which he is born, has about one-half as much of a chance of completing a high school as a white baby born in the same place on the same day. They have one-third as much of a chance of completing college. They have one-third as much of a chance of becoming a professional man, but they have one-half as much of a chance more to being unemployed, about one-seventh as much of a chance of earning a $10,000 a year, a life expectancy which is 7 years shorter, and the prospects of only earning half as much. This is not a sectional issue, however. Difficulties over segregation and discrimination exist in every city, in every state of the Union, producing in many cities a rising tide of discontent that threatens the public safety. Nor is this a partisan issue. In a time of domestic crisis, men of goodwill and generosity should be able to unite regardless of party or politics. This is not even a legal or legislative issue alone. It is better to settle these matters on the courts rather than on the streets. And new laws are needed at every level, but law alone cannot make a man see right. We are confronted primarily with a moral issue that is as old as the scriptures, but is as clear as the American Constitution. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities. Whether we are all going to treat our fellow Americans as we would wish to be treated. If an American, because his skin is dark, is not able to eat lunch at a restaurant open to the public, if he cannot send his children to the best public school available, if he cannot vote for the public officials who will represent him, in short, if he cannot enjoy a full and free life which all of us want, then who among us would be content to have the color of his skin changed and stand in his place? Who among us would be content with the counsels of patience and delay? 100 years of delay have passed since President Lincoln freed the slaves, yet their heirs, their grandsons, they are not yet fully free. They are not yet freed from the bonds of injustice. They are not yet freed from social and economic oppression. And this nation, for all of its hopes, for all of its boasts, will never be free until its citizens are free.